We're conducting an experiment to use wild horses, a Mustang, to do equine therapy with veterans who have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is a very complex injury that can be tremendously debilitating. And it's very difficult to understand, it's difficult to diagnose. What has been learned is that equine therapy is a very effective way of treating PTSD. A few years ago, I had a really bad relapse of my PTSD. I did some equine therapy, and I learned about Mustangs. There's a program to adopt Mustangs where you work with certified Mustang trainers. And I learned that there is a certified Mustang trainer in Spokane, and it's Nate Ostrander.
Before I met Larry, I didn't know anything about PTSD. It was one of those things, like it is for most Americans and probably most people around the world, where they just go, oh, PTSD, what? Yeah, post-traumatic something or other, right? Yeah, I've heard of it. So what's for lunch? We kind of try to avoid the subject because we know that it's a touchy subject. And we don't really know how to talk about it either. Being able to learn as much as I've learned from you about PTSD has just opened my mind like crazy. Also, the fact that we're trying to use horses as medicine has opened my mind in the training process too. So I'm learning a lot. Working with horses, especially Mustangs, they need leadership. And there's lots of different ways, styles, and techniques of training horses. A lot of them good, a lot of them bad. The basic foundation element is energy. I have to make sure that I am a calm, assertive leader, and that creates calm, submissive horses. And they look to me for the leadership, and they stand and they wait for me to say, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. That's what I bring to the table. And then ask him to move. Yeah. Good boy. I know.
A good friend of mine, Earl Barlow, is a Blackfeet Indian. A while back, Earl told me about this phrase that he had learned about, a Blackfeet phrase, Ah Kah Tah, and it means going home.
We figured we'd name the program Ah Kah Tah. And then once we got the horse, thought, well, he's the first horse of the program, and we're bringing him home. His name's Ah Kah Tah. He still has the stallion testosterone in him, and he is just this big beast of a horse. He's bigger than himself. Okay? And now that we've had time to work with him, what I've been doing is trying to go real slow, baby steps, for both our horse, Ah Kah Tah, and for Larry. Because we want to make sure that this program, picks out all the best things that we can and get everything right the first time. So I'm trying to introduce the horse to new things at a very slow rate. So I'll go in and I'll do something and have the horse get comfortable with it, and then I'll have Larry come in and do that same thing. And then we just continue on like that.
I would not in a million years attempt doing what I'm doing without Nate. And I wouldn't recommend to anybody, don't try this at home. Every minute I'm with that horse, I know my life is in danger. My motivation to heal is so great that that's the energy that I bring to our program. And I think that's the right energy to bring to it by watching Nate intently and then having him say, all right, your turn, come in and do it. You can believe that my heart is beating. And it's almost like he and the horse are speaking Russian. I don't speak Russian. And Nate is saying, the horse is telling you that he's a little nervous right now, or the horse is telling you he's okay right now. It's like, okay, now I understand. When the horse does that, it means he's okay.
Yeah, it's really important to be able to read the horses. And that's where that, horse whispering kind of communication comes in, where you got to understand horse. They don't have speech. It's all body language.
There's so often in working with that horse that I feel like I'm diffusing a bomb. It's like, that's what it feels like. You move the wrong way and the horse, he's out of there. But if you adjust to that, now there's a new bond between you and the horse, and you are changed in yourself. Right now, America spends $600-700 billion a year on the military, and basically we're not spending a nickel, really, on helping people heal from the injury of war that is inevitable. And one of the things that I hope to do for us to be able to do this program is say, here's something you could do.
On the horse side of that, the goal for this program is rescuing the Mustangs. When we went down to Burns in July, there were 420-something horses there. I just want to help one horse at a time that I can, and help that horse get into a good home, and then take another one and get a good home for that horse, because that's all I can do. I'm only one person. But at some point, maybe we could make it to where we could take 10 or 20 Mustangs and have them at our facility and run them through our program. And now we're saving 10 or 20 horses at a time, or 40 or 60 horses at a time. Part of this program is to show that Mustangs can do stuff. Just really smart, really loyal when they get that trust bond with you, and they just make incredible horses.
We're going to do this program with me, and then I will describe the changes that happen, and we're videotaping everything we do, so you'll be able to see the changes that happen to Ah Kah Tah, and you'll be able to see my progress as a horse person. I'm about as clumsy as somebody could be, but we'll be able to talk about how I've benefited from the healing of my PTSD. Once we have that as an example, then we want to ramp up the program and offer it to other people. Ultimately, the kind of program that we're talking about will take major funding. I mean, it'll take major endowment to create a facility, to bring people in, give them an in-house experience of working with horses like this. To cut to the chase, what I would say PTSD does to a normal person, that breaks your heart. War breaks your heart. It's so violent. It causes so much pain in the world. It just breaks your heart to be a part of it. And there's something about working with horses that mends your heart. The vision that I have is I'd like to see the U.S. cavalry brought back, literally, bring back the cavalry. But not for the purpose of using horses as an instrument of war, but for the purpose of using horses to heal the inevitable wound of war.
And release that and back off. Good boy. Good boy, Ah Kah Tah. Yes. Well, he knows his name.